Hello, good afternoon, Tribuners. Welcome back with me, Tiara, in Indonesia News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here the complete news. The first news is the first trial of the murder case by Ferdy Sambo, former head of the Probation and Security Division of Indonesian National Police. Ferdy Sambo underwent the first trial of the premeditated murder case of Brigadier Nofriansyah Yosua Huta Barat alias Brigadier J at the South Jakarta District Court on Monday, October 17, 2022. In this trial, the public prosecutor read out the charges against the defendant Ferdy Sambo. At around 10 minutes to 10 a.m., the panel of judges entered the courtroom. Meanwhile, Sambo was seen wearing a long-sleeved batik shirt and a black mask in the courtroom. Before reading the indictment, the panel of judges stated that the trial was held openly. He also inquired about Sambo's health condition before the start of the trial. Sambo, who was sitting in the chair of the patient, replied that he was healthy and well. The public prosecutor then read out the indictment against Ferdy Sambo. While listening to the indictment read by the public prosecutor, Sambo was seen observing every sentence read out. He was also seen holding a pile of white papers with his indictment on it. His two hands are also seen holding a pen and a yellow highlighter. Every time the public prosecutor read out sentence by sentence of the indictment, Sambo was seen occasionally scribbling and marking the paper. He was also observed to look down if he felt that his indictment was read properly. The next news is, a man managed to survive the flash flood disaster. Herman, a resident of Lembong Hamlet, Ranga Village and Rekang, South Sulawesi, survived the flash flood. The catastrophic event occurred on Sunday, October 10, 2022 in the afternoon. Herman said that it was raining heavily and the wind was so strong, many streams of water cannot be avoided from the top of the mountains to target his house. He began to keep watch under his stilt house. He did not imagine suddenly a flash flood came to the settlement. Herman was then immediately swept away by the flood for almost 10 meters. Herman said there were many large stones, mud, and wood that he saw when he was dragged. Even then, he was almost buried. When he felt he was safe, the father of one child only saw his house swept away by landslide and flash floods. Couldn't do anything, just pray that his house would still stand strong to live in with his wife and children. Now a place to live to make his wife and children happy, living memories. He was forced to flee to a relative's house not far from the disaster site. Meanwhile, the village head Ranga said that the house that was hit by the landslide could not longer be occupied. He is also looking for a solution to relocate the houses of the affected residents, because the area can no longer to be occupied to build a house. In the last few days, heavy rains have continued to last in Rengkang Regency, causing a number of areas to experience floods and landslide. One of them was in Lembong Hamlet, Ranga Village, and Rengkang District. There were flash flood and landslide on Sunday, October 9, 2022 at around 3 p.m. There were no casualties in the incident, but a number of houses were crushed by landslide. Saim noted that 3 houses and a kindergarten school building were damaged. In addition, there were 31 houses evacuated by the landslide with a total of 37 families. Overall, a total of 130 people were evacuated by the landslide. The next news is viral video of a thief on Merbabu. Viral on social media, video recordings that mention the existence of robbers on Merbabu Mount. The video uploaded by @Pendaki Lawas with the caption, "The robbers in Merbabu this time are really thieves, not monkey." According to TRIBUNSolo.com on Sunday, October 16, 2022, a 20-second video showed a person under the umbrella of a white tent. The tent is said to be the headquarters for tips and logistic tips on Merbabu Mount. The video has also been watched by 143,000 people and retweeted 720 times and got 2,952 likes. The head of the National Park Center for Merbabu Mount, Johan Setiawan, admitted that he had received information about the alleged robbery on Merbabu Mount. It's just for information, official reports from climbers who are victims, including any missing climbers' belongings. However, from the information received, the alleged robbery incident that happened to the climbers of Merbabu Mount occurred on the Suwanting route, Sawangan District, Magelang Regency, precisely around post 3. He was alone and camping, not at a location like the one in the video. After receiving this information, the BT and GMB then coordinated with the local police. The next news is Sam on his wife because the motorbike is pounded. A husband admits to being robbed. A man in Rengas Dengklok admitted that he was ashamed to have so much debt that he was desperate to make up a story claiming that he was robbed and thrown into the fields. To confirm the story, the man threw himself into the rice field and returned home in a state of mud. A 52-year-old man was arrested by the Rengas Dengklok Sector Police, the Karawangan Resort Police, after giving false information. KSN was robbed and dumped in the middle of a rice field on Highway Bojong Karyawan, Dusun Rengas Dengklok Selatan, Rengas Dengklok District, when viral on social media Facebook on Friday, 14 October 2022. He told me that he was ambushed by 4 criminals who were carrying sharp weapons. Receiving a story of a robbery without a police report, the Rengas Dengklok Sector Police then carried out a series of investigation by asking for a number of witness statements. Then the police also received testimony from a witness who admitted that and was only making up stories. The story, if he was robbed and viral on social media, is a hoax. It turned out that the motorbike he was driving at the time was pawned to his friend for 1 million rupiah. The reason is that the victim made up the story, said Suheman, from a statement that he was ashamed of his wife and family because he had a lot of debt. After returning home, pawned the motorbike and immediately made up the story. He threw himself into the middle of the rice field so that his body was covered in mud, and they believed that the robbers had thrown him into the middle of the rice field. The next news is 3 teenagers carrying sharp weapons and endangering residents being shot by the police. 3 teenagers who were carrying sharp weapons in Bogor City, West Java, were shot by a mobile brigade personnel on Sunday, October 16, 2022. The 3 teenagers are 15 years old GI, 16 years old AF, and 15 years old AA. The 3 were shot by Brigade Mobile Intelligence when they act in the Ciparigi village area, North Bogor District, Bogor City. Members of the mobile brigade were forced to shoot the 3 teenagers because they were disturbing because they were brandishing sharp weapons on the highway. Acting Chief of the Bogor City Resort Police, Police Grand Commissioner Adjutant Ferdi Irawan, explained that the shooting was carried out in accordance with the procedure. Moreover, the 3 teenagers were indicated to have injured and threatened many people. Furthermore, Ferdi explained the steps that were in coordinate with the procedural were seeing the threats met by the three people who were carrying the sharp weapons. Where the threat, said Ferdi, was broken by the action taken by the mobile brigadier by releasing hot lead. When it comes to the question of inspection, said Ferdi, it is the institutional domain of the mobile brigadier itself. Bogor City Resort Police, said Ferdi, will focus first on the fulfillment of the three accused perpetrators who are also currently being treated at the Bogor City Regional General Hospital. So that domain, continued Ferdi, is the institutional domain of the mobile brigadier. Even so, said Ferdi, at this time his party will focus first on the healing of the three suspected perpetrators. He also ensured that the actions carried out by members of the mobile brigadier were confirmed to have been in accordance with the procedural. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ferdi also revealed that the three people who were shot by his mobile brigadier member were thought to be a gang of gangsters. Thus, the shooting action carried out by this mobile brigadier was inevitable. Due to the hot lead, the three suspected perpetrators had to receive intensive care at the Bogor City Regional General Hospital. The next news is bad weather happened in Aceh Singkil district for 2 days. Bad weather hit Aceh Singkil Regency in 2 days from Saturday and Sunday, the 15th to 16th of October 2022. Bad weather in the form of rain winds that trigger large waves. In addition to big waves, when it rains, fishermen's visibility at sea is limited, so there is a high risk when fishermen forced to go to sea. This condition causes fishermen not to go to sea. As a result, marine fish are becoming scarce, if any, it is old stockfish that fishermen keep in chests. Meanwhile, on Monday, October 17, 2022, the weather began to improve. The sky was still cloudy, but the rain and wind were no longer falling. Following the improvement in the weather, fishermen have been observed to go to sea since morning. Fishermen choose to leave early in the morning so that they can return in the late afternoon. This is to anticipate if the weather worsens again in the afternoon, fishermen can return home with result. Meanwhile, Singkil Pulau Banyak transportation, which is served by traditional boats from the Pulau Sarok High Bridge Pier, continues to sail. It's just that the cruise is carried out in the morning. This step is taken to avoid bad weather on the way. Therefore, passengers who want to go to Banyak Island should come early to the Pulau Sarok High Bridge where the ship rests. The last news is Indonesian National Army members failed to send 6 tons of seaweed. Members of Indonesian National Armed Force Post, the Lambata Regency Navy, thwarted the smuggling of dried seaweed at Balauring Harbor of Mesuri District on Thursday, October 13, 2022 at around 35 minutes past 10 p.m. The 6 tons of dried seaweed were brought from Alor Regency to Makassar, South Sulawesi by the Blue Cahaya in the ship. The acting commander of Lambata Navy Post, Sergeant Wan Herman, explained that he received information from the public that there was a seaweed that would be sent from Alor to Makassar via Balauring Port. Members of the Indonesian National Army Post in Lambata Navy and members of the Balauring Reservoir immediately carried out an ambush on Thursday night. According to information, said Sergeant Herman, a total of 20 tons of dried seaweed from Alor will be sent to Makassar. However, upon hearing that there was information about an ambush in Balauring, the ship carrying the remaining seaweed was now transported to Balauring Harbor. According to him, evidence of dried seaweed has been secured in the warehouse of Indonesian National Army Force Post of Lambata Navy, and further investigation are still underway regarding the ownership of the illegal goods. According to him, there is already a regulation issued by Governor of East Nusa Tenggara number 39 year 2022 which prohibits shipments of dried seaweed from being distributed out of East Nusa Tenggara as of August 1, 2022. Well, I think that's all to just for today with me, Mutiara. Don't forget to follow us in YouTube Tribun Lampung News Video, Facebook Tribun Lampung, Instagram and TikTok Tribun Lampung for further information. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.